accomplish in my life. Like spider webs.
Since I'm older, I just need like tools to come out. I need a post.
What are you getting for your car since yours broke down?
Oh, I'll tell you guys later. We're gonna do Q&A for now. Okay? Hey kiddos, let's do some Q&A. So you guys ask questions, and Mr. Menown will, answer as he would answer.
Yes.
So you had two kids who went to college.
Pardon?
You had two kids who went to college.
Mm-hmm.
How did you make that happen? So they went for a good price.
Well, financially, how we made it happen? My dad started a college fund, put like $1,000, opened an investment account for each of my kids. I guess he put $2,000 in for each of my kids. That was way back then. When my kids, right after they're born. So when my kids got to be junior high school, and I guess 5th, 6th grade, right in there, I thought I need to be doing something serious about it. So in the back of my mind, what I thought was, well, I'm on a schedule to have my house paid for by the time my second child, my daughter, starts college. And that would free up money that I'm making a house payment, and all of a sudden I don't have to make a house payment anymore. That would pay for one to go to school. And then my wife was a nurse, and the neat thing about nursing is that they can it's not all or nothing. They don't have to work 40 hours or zero. They can work part-time. And so in the back of my mind was, well, she could work full-time, and that would pay for a lot of the school. But the way it really worked out, I ended up putting shares of stock in each of their accounts. And that stock grew very well. And the neat thing about a custodian account is it's taxed ultimately at the child's rate, not my rate. Okay, so because that stock appreciated in value, when we sold it for them to pay the tuition bills, the tax on that stock, that appreciation was a lot less than it would have been for me. So I started just pumping shares of stock, different stocks into the account since about 5th or 6th grade. And by the time they went to school, I had about $55,000 each for them to go to school. And the neat thing was my daughter, Jamie, who you may have met, she wisely chose to go to school at Kirksville, which is not a big party school, but it's a very good school, Truman State, and she got a full ride. So all her money that was set up for her to go to school, we ended up buying a used car for her, and then the leftover money actually ended up was her down payment on her house that she lives in today, because it didn't need to be used for school. My son had about, he ended up, he went to KU for a year, then went 3 years at UNKC. And he's out in Hollywood. He wants to be in the entertainment business. He didn't follow the math and science track that I really wanted him to. I think I pushed too hard. So he had about $10,000 left, and we used that money as kind of getting started money, because Los Angeles is very expensive to live. He lives in a home with 9 other people. And they're all aspiring writers, directors, actors. They all want to be in the entertainment business. And I said, I'm kind of a left-brain engineer. My attitude is go get a real job. And my wife says, no. And she's smarter than me, by the way. But no, he's doing what he loves. He's happy. There's nothing wrong with that, So he just works on all kinds of different projects from time to time. He worked on a show for Nickelodeon for a while called Bella and the Bulldog. So about a junior high school football team with a girl quarterback. Kind of a teen show. We did that for a while. Working on another project now. Just project to project. I'm used to working for a big company with benefits that last a long time, but everything out there is from one project to another project to another project. And so it's a whole different way of life than what I'm used to. So I just defer to my wife on that. Yes.
So how has he actually made that work? Because I think it's hard. They have the saying starving artists for a reason. And here he's actually working on Nickelodeon shows. How did he go from point A to point B?
He's been out there 5 or 6 years. And he did some internships where they didn't pay him anything. It's a who you know business. and a kid from Kansas City, Missouri is not connected. Now, if he went to UCLA Film School, which is probably what he should have done, he would have had a lot of connections. But it's just knowing people.
Is he persistent as well?
I wish he was more persistent,
Okay.
but he's worked on a lot of projects. I mean, he marketed a film for a year. I mean, get this, for a year, he spent a whole year with three blonde models touring the country, promoting a movie about drag racing. And they would go to these drag race tracks and set up a booth and have a big screen and show excerpts from this movie. And then one guy, the one prominent actor, was this guy from Grey's Anatomy. The guy who's not complete, I mean, he's part black, part white, good-looking guy. I can't remember his name. But anyway, he was the protagonist of it. He's had all kinds of strings of jobs.
Okay.
He actually worked for Church of Scientology for a while.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he got paid as an actor, really good paid to do promotional videos for the Church of Scientology. And I said, Chris, that Catholic, because he went to St. Pius, so that Catholic education really paid off. Dad, they pay well. Okay.
Little cult cash.
Yeah.
They're a cult. You can look them up. It's the Church of Scientology. I know the story. I'll tell you this.
It's worse than a cult. I mean, the guy started the whole thing to avoid paying taxes. I mean,
Right.
the whole thing's a farce. It's not a religion. It's
Right.
a farce.
Right.
But anyway, to answer your question, my dad started an account. I started putting money in, shares of stock in over the years to build that up. Yes.
So then, did your son actually have to end up paying for anything, or what the account didn't pay for? Did you guys just pay the difference, or how did that work?
Well, it paid for his school at UMKC. So he got out of school like $10,000 left in his college
Okay.
account.
Was he able to live at home though, when you went to UMKC, or how did you do
He went to KU for a year, which I know you're Kansas people. He didn't have anything good to say about KU, neither do I, so I'll just leave it at that. Well, his roommate tried to be a drug dealer, but never mind that. Then he lived at home for a semester, and then he lived in a house with a bunch of buddies from high school. So his living costs were actually pretty minimal here in Kansas City. And UMKC wasn't too expensive. I mean, it was part of the University of Missouri system and Missouri residents, so it wasn't out of state tuition. But he just loves movies and entertainment stuff, and someday you'll have your own kids and you'll find out that every one of them is different. And you kind of have to play to their strengths, and that's what he loves doing, so. Other questions? Yes?
What field of engineering were you in, and what did you do at AT&T?
Good question. I studied civil engineering. My emphasis in school was structural design, structural analysis. And frankly, my last year of college, I got bored. And I could see on the handwriting on the wall, this is back in 1978, 1979, that a lot of the stuff we were doing, computer programs were going to be doing at some point in time. And so I ended up taking a job for Southwestern Bell Telephone, which didn't have anything to do with civil engineering. But I'll tell you what engineering does do for you. It lets you learn to solve problems, and companies love people who can solve problems. It teaches you a way to logically think through a problem, and companies love that. Love that. I had 19 job offers when I graduated from Mizzou in 1979. Now, granted, it was a great year for engineering graduates. A lot of companies were hiring, but I stopped going on job interviews. Just stopped because I didn't have the time. But yeah, I studied. I think I designed one non-standard manhole with rebar, because everything else was precast and ready to go. But I worked in engineering for Southwestern Bell, but it was telephony engineering, which you got to learn on the job. Completely different than, you can't learn that in school. But yeah, my buddies Mike and Mark are double E's. Another friend, Mark Slafer, lives in Houston, went to work for HP. He was a double E. And Tom, he's a chemistry guy. I talked about my nephew, his degree is in aerospace engineering. The engineering school teaches you to solve problems, and companies like that. What else? Gotta be more questions. Of course, after lunch, you're probably sleepy. Tim said you got some ideas on starting businesses. Oh, Mike wanted me to mention something. Talking about money gives you choices. I started in St. Louis, I got moved to Springfield. Didn't want to move, my parents, St. Louis was home, St. Louis Cardinals. Okay? My parents lived in St. Louis, but I went to Springfield anyway. Springfield's a nice place to live. One day I get a phone call, I gotta come to Kansas City. So I come to Kansas City, which worked out all right because my wife has a big extended family in Kansas City. But after 5 years of being here, all of a sudden I get a phone call, I need to move to Houston, Texas. I didn't want to move to Houston, Texas. My sister lives in Houston, Texas. Houston's miserable, it's hot. But beyond that, I had 2 kids in high school. My mom and dad were living with us in Kansas City at that point because my mother had Alzheimer's. We were taking care of them. And my wife, I said, was a nurse. She's actually now a nurse practitioner. She'd gone back and she started her career for the 3rd time. And so I moved when I could, but I didn't want to move again. I mean, taking kids out of high school, how would you like to leave your high school and start, throwing the parents and all that? I said, I'm not moving. They said, oh yeah, you are. Times are tough. And this was 2001, 2002. They said, your job, we want you. Your job's in Houston, Texas. I said, I'm not going. They said, you don't understand. In 6 months, your paycheck's in Houston, Texas, and we did this for about 6 months. I said, money gives you choices. I had enough money where I felt comfortable. I'd leave, at the time it was SBC Communications, and start looking. I started sending out resumes to other utilities here in Kansas City. But I had enough saved and investments and 401k and so forth where I felt I could do that. So being a saver and investor gave me the confidence to just say, I'm not going. I knew a lot of people had to move. They gave us a choice of following our work in Houston. A lot of people had to move. I didn't. And the way it worked out was they ended up keeping me and putting me in a staff type job, a staff support role in special services. So it all worked out great, but it was a miserable 6 months thinking I had to leave my job of 20-something years. But because I had money in the bank and investments, I said no. Yep.
We've got about 8 minutes.
Okay.
So what I was wondering is maybe you could do, let's just call them quick wins. Like you could just like briefly say in various things, like either what you would recommend or maybe what your family does or what your kids do, on each of these things to either save money or have more fun or
What
both.
we do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like what you would do or what you would recommend. Kiddos, give me some more things where you guys spend money on. Like random food. Well, this is groceries, but it'll be out here. What's that? Sorry? Hair, okay. Hey, that could be enough for starters. Just
Okay.
They're probably not buying groceries. We'll put that one at the bottom of the list.
I said
Gas? So yeah, you can just give us some quick wins.
What I do on gasoline purchases?
Yeah, just anything.
Okay, well,
where
I'll
maybe
tell
you
you
got
what I
better.
did, actually, when gas got real high, and by the way, it's $1.50 more in Los Angeles that my son has to pay. I just started buying oil stocks. I bought ConocoPhillips, I bought Royal Dutch Shell, and I said, well, if I'm gonna pay at the pump, I might as well make it over here. And that turned out to be a great strategy, except I didn't get out at the top, so the oil stocks fell. But they all pay good dividends, so I'm letting it ride.
My dad did
So,
that too.
so, and the other thing I do, my wife is a wonderful person. But she loves to drive all over the friggin' world, okay? I mean, my mother-in-law lives in Overland Park, her friends live in Overland Park, we live up by Zona Rosa. She's just going. So I would try to put the clamps on her a little bit, say, now, wait a minute, can we combine trips here and try to minimize some of some of the mileage, because you know, you just burn up the car and burn up gas. Okay, so that's gas.
Yeah, you can go in any order you want.
Okay, for fun, you know, the older I get, the less we do. You know, I got a boys' week, and you saw a picture of someone, it was 15 of us go down to Lake the Ozarks City. And Mark and Mike built 2 beautiful homes. They're both very, very wealthy. Boats, jet skis, wave running. We didn't even put a boat in the water this year. All we did is sit around, and Mike put in a swimming pool too. All we did is sit around the pool, and of course we always talk about religion, politics, and stuff. You know, spending time with friends is, to me, I mean, I want to spend 22 hours riding to Naples, Florida in a VW Bug with a guy bigger than me because he's my really good friend. Just spending time with friends doesn't cost anything. You know, I enjoy that as much more than anything these days. My wife and I go to a lot of movies, but I got to admit, when I'm at Kmart, I'll buy candy at Kmart for $1 a box, and when we go to the movie, I'll put a can of Diet Coke in my pocket. I'm not going to pay those prices for the and if it's a cold, rainy Sunday or something, where we might watch 2 movies for the price of one. You know?
Well, okay, yeah, I guess he's going with his wife, snuggle and smuggle.
Well, really, my wife kind of tells me what to do as far as, she's a social person. She's very social. I'm very not social. So I just kind of do what she tells me. What's over 30-something years, you kind of learn slowly. Sports, you know, sports, this is just my own opinion, but paying a lot of money to go see a Chiefs football game or a baseball game and paying $8 a hot dog, I've just seen watch the replays at home. I mean, I just, $20 a park. You know, I grew up in St. Louis. When I was in junior high school, they had a deal. If you had good grades, they gave you tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals. It's for 3 games, 2 tickets apiece. My sister had good grades, so we got 4 tickets for 3 games, and they were great tickets, kind of behind home plate, behind first base. You could sit on the bleachers at Busch Stadium for $3. Okay, now it's I don't know why people do it. I don't enjoy. I mean, and I'm 6'2". The chairs are so confining. I'm not comfortable anyway. I just soon watch the stuff on a big screen at home.
Yeah. Clothes. I got the shirt at the fundraiser. They're playing the golf tournament for Rachel House. I got a lot of free clothes from Sowers and Bell and SBC. I'm not supposed to, but I'm not throwing them away. I've never been very. When you get married, save by not getting your husband nice clothes. Get yourself nice clothes.
Yeah, I never bought nice.
We don't care. Guys don't care.
If I can find something at Kmart on sale, that's great. I used to get my haircut at Springfield for $6. 2 old guys, 3 old guys over at the barbershop. Every 7 years, one would sell it, the other one would That's hilarious.
That's why